Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I have some updates for you about version 2 of the TO Tools Google spreadsheet and Google Forms that I've been working on. If you're here watching this video, I'm guessing you're already in the Facebook group. If not, and you would like access to these things, just ping me on Facebook, and I will add you to the group where you can find links to whatever the current version of the files are, um, and other updated information. So we are here because I'm about to kick out updated version of this thing for folks to use. Um, I built this because I didn't like how any of the existing tools worked, so I decided to um, give it a whirl, right? Throwing something together myself to use. Which is what they tell you never to do in programming, right? There are three competing standards for a way to do something, and I didn't like any of them, so I decided to fix it myself. And now there are four competing standards on how to do something. So, but anyway, here we are. And some folks have used it and seem interested in it, and interested in continuing to use it. And until I find a better tool, I'm going to keep using it. So I'm going to periodically update it. And since it's not just me using it, I had to think a little bit about things like version control and how to sanely roll things out and keep things updated, because I didn't want to like fix something in one place and have to fix it in a bunch of other places, or have people using like an old version of something that might have a bug in it, or whatever. Um, so one of the big things I've done here is I've broken out most of the functional code into an external library that I will be releasing via Google's AppScript platform. Um, and as those updates come in, versions of the spreadsheet can be updated to just look at the current module version and get whatever changes they need. So like year over year, unless we've had to make like structural updates or changes to the spreadsheet itself, um, you can just update whatever copy you're using by like making a new copy and updating it to point to a new version, which I will show you how to do right now. Let's get started. Enough talking. So this is the dev version of the spreadsheet for Bartroud, which will be one of the ones that I'm going to post to the Facebook group soon when I update it and rename it to V2. Um, hey, first thing to point out, I had a little README tab at the very beginning with some info on like what you need to do to set it up to use it yourself. It's basically like the 4 sentence version of the quick start video that I made, but there's also a link to the quick start video if you need to see examples of how to do that stuff, and then some helpful reminders and links to the Facebook group and other videos. But I'm going to first show you guys how to check what version number of the library you're on. So you go to extensions, you go to AppScripts. That will open the AppScript editor. It's code. Don't be scared. Everything's fine. Just don't change anything or edit anything unless you know what you're doing. If you feel like voiding the warranty, go right ahead. But over here, it opens you to the code editor. And if you go down under libraries, you'll see KOWTO tools is listed. That's the name of the library where most of the code lives. If you click on that, it'll tell you what version you're using. And this one's already using version 2 because I just flipped it over before the video here, but you would just come down, open up the drop down. The top one's always going to be head development mode, and that's going to be whatever changes I'm currently making. Like that's like the live version that I could be doing God knows what to. So you probably shouldn't ever use that. You should probably just use whatever the highest number is here listed underneath it, which currently is 2. When I push out a new version, that'll be 3. You can come in here and update yours to 3, and everything ought to work just fine unless there's any other changes that need making. And if there are other changes that need making, then I'll make like a version 3 of the spreadsheet, and I'll post a link to that, and you can go grab that, and then go from there. If you are like just like a week out from doing your event, and I kick out a new version of the spreadsheet, and it doesn't have anything critical in it or anything that you were interested in using. Like if I increment it because I added like different points levels, but you're not playing those points levels, or I add a different scoring system, but you're not using that scoring system, then you could just leave it on the old version until after your event. There's no harm in that, like for stability and sanity purposes, right? Like change as few things as possible. But when you get versions of the spreadsheet now, the ones I'm going to post, most recent ones I'm going to post, are going to be on version 2 already. So you shouldn't have to update those. I'm just showing you guys what you would do going forward. So that's that. Exciting stuff. Version control. Ooh, yeah. That's like housekeeping type grind work that nobody really likes doing. So let's talk about the more interesting stuff that you guys will care about, because they have something to do with actually running events. So there were 4 features added here for V2. One was Bart Shroud scoring, which I'll show because that's what this spreadsheet will do. When we put in results, it'll do V2 Bart Shroud scoring as per the 2023 Nerdhammer player pack. I added a way to have people not get paired. So if you need to drop someone, there's an easy way to do that without like deleting all of their info. I added an option for table randomization, and I added a way to check over the round results from players to see if everybody's submitting matching data, so that you don't have to try to hunt for those by hand. So let's start. Let's just start by showing you guys this stuff. So like I said, first I added a tab here with some handy README information. If you've done this many times before and you don't need any of this, feel free to delete this tab. It's just a little thing here at the beginning if it's getting in your way at all. When you first open it, if you want to make sure, like, okay, what were the 4 things that I have to do to make sure that these things all work? That's going to be listed up here at the top. Second, everything should go down to 100 rows now. You shouldn't have to drag formulas down anywhere. I think in a previous video, I was like, if things don't calculate, make sure the formulas are down. I've gone through and I've dragged them all down to row 100. So unless you have more than 100 players or you're playing more than 100 games in a round for some reason, you should be fine there. When we get there, that'll be a great day. Right? Have more than 100 players in one event. All right, let's pop over here to the roster tab. And so what I've done to allow you to drop people mid-event is I've just added another column here at the end labeled Don't Pair. And that is a column that's supposed to be editable by the TOs. And if you put anything at all in that column, then that player won't be included the next time you generate pairings. And that's it. Doesn't have to be anything specific. You can put you can write no, you can write yes, you can put a 1 there, you can put an N there, just like not a blank space. Just put an actual like alphanumeric character or a series of characters there. Whatever you want to put in there is fine. It doesn't really care. Just if there's something there, it won't pair that that player. And so let's show how that works. Let's pop over to new pairings. Let's go to TO Tools and let's generate pairings. Should you pair clubmates? No, of course not. This is round 1. Don't pair clubmates. And now here's the demo for randomized tables. It's going to ask you, after you say whether you want to pair clubmates or not, it's going to ask you, should you randomize table numbers? For right now, I'm just going to say no, because I'm just getting an initial set. All right. So here we go. So we've gotten our initial pairings. We can see that Adam is on table 1 playing Brian, because Adam's the first in the roster. So he's the first player that we try to pair, since everybody's got a 0 for their battle score, because it's the first round. So they'll just go down the list and randomly pair him with whoever. So he's stuck with Brian. So now let's go over and let's get rid of Adam. Adam's not showing up. So we'll just put a 1 there. And I'll pop back over to pairings and generate pairings again. Should we pair clubmates? No. Should you randomize tables? Sure, this time why not? Go ahead and randomize the table numbers. Let's see what we get. Okay, so now we will see that the first player to get paired is Alex Chavez, which is the second player down the roster because we skipped over Adams. Adams not there anymore. And since we've randomized tables, instead of playing on table 1, they're playing on table 16. Also, since we have removed 1 player, we can scroll down and we can see that somebody ended up not getting paired, and that was Ray Shields. So if you got a ringer, you would need to put the ringer there, and you would need to put them on whatever table doesn't have someone on it. You could probably sort these things by table order to see which one table is randomly missing. Normally, it would be the last table, but the tables are randomized, so 1 random table doesn't have anybody at it. But again, if you put them in order, you should be able to spot it. So let's pop back over and let's put Adam back in. Just delete the data in that cell. And let's go down and let's say don't pair Alex and don't pair Boehner. Why not? We'll put 2 people so there's an even number. Now I'll pop back over to new pairings. We'll generate pairings. Should we pair clubmates? No. Should we randomize tables? Sure. And we run. Okay. So now the first player listed is Adam. He's back in again. He's on table 5 instead of table 1 because we randomized tables. And the next couple of tables don't have Alex or Alan Boehner on them because they are not there. If we scroll down, we've only got 43 rows minus the header row. That means 42 players were paired. We got 44 players in the roster, so 2 players were omitted. So there you go. That's that. So if you, for whatever reason, during the event, want to not pair someone, then you can just put characters here, and it won't include them the next time you generate pairings. If you want to drop them for 1 round and then re-add them, it's just that simple. You mark them as don't pair in the column. You do that 1 round, and then the next round you put them back. I don't know why that would happen. I don't know. I guess it's possible that someone would sleep in on Sunday for some reason and miss like round 4 but come back for round 5. And if that's the case, then you just drop them for that 1 round and then put them back. If your event hasn't started yet and you haven't generated round 1 pairings, instead of putting someone down and listing them as don't pair, I would just take them out of the roster entirely, because if they're not gonna be there for the beginning of the tournament, then just add them later. Yeah. That basically means they're a no-show. But if however you want to do it's fine. If you have a bunch of people listed here who don't get paired, you're just kind of cluttering up your roster. But up to you. So there we go. So that is, pop back over to pairings. We'll do them one more time. Generate pairings. Don't pair clubmates. Don't randomize tables. Just so we can see how that still works. So now we got Adam playing Kelly Wheaton on table 1, Alex playing George O'Connell on table 2. Sorry, Alex. George is a lot better now. I should stop picking on him. He's really making an honest effort. And Boehner's playing Thomas on table 3. So all 3 of those guys are back in, and we have again 44 players paired, and they're listed basically in table order on down. So that is those features. Now let's get on to the more probably more interesting feature, which is going to be the pairings. Excuse me, not the pairings. The form responses. Picking out which form responses are correct, or well, I mean, I don't know for a fact whether they're correct. I only know that the players have matched up, right? In terms of what they've entered. They've entered the same thing. If they both did the math wrong, then they're just wrong. But I can tell you, or I can at least show you whether or not they have put in matching data. So let's show that. So pro tip here, when you're on a tab, right, in your spreadsheet that is linked to a form, you can go up to tools at the top and go down to manage form, and you can edit form and go to live form. So if you don't remember, misplaced, don't have, whatever, the form URLs, you can always just go to the tab for the form, go to tools, go down to manage form, and get edit form or go to live form. It'll open up that form for you. So you don't necessarily have to, like when I post the spreadsheet URLs, I'm not going to post a whole bunch of form URLs as well. I'll just assume that you guys can come in and get them out of the spreadsheet. Because when you make a new copy of a spreadsheet, I'm pretty sure it makes copies of the form to go along with that one that points back to it. So you don't necessarily have to make brand new copies of everything. They'll just all flow along like they're supposed to. All right, so let's put in some game results for fun. It's round 1. It's table 1. I don't have pairings. It doesn't matter. Let's say Adam is playing Alex, and it was a good game. And they're playing control. And let's say Adam got 3, and we'll say Alex got 4, and we'll say Adam killed 1,000 points. And we'll say Alex killed 1,500 points. And we'll submit that. All right. So now what's going to happen is this row, as it is popped in here, has turned yellow. Why is the row yellow? It is yellow because we're waiting for the opponent to submit a result. If the entire row turns yellow, that doesn't necessarily mean anything that is wrong. That just means we don't have anything to compare it to yet. So when you come back and you look at these spreadsheet rows in the form responses, you should see some yellow rows, but eventually those should go away. So now let's pop over and have Alex submit his results. We played Adam. It was a good game. We played Control. I got 4. You got 3. I killed, I think I said 15. I think I said 1,000. And if I've got that wrong, then we'll just see what happens when the numbers don't match. So we pop back over. Should be correct. The integrity checker will run, and it has found that these two rows match up, so they are green. And that's what it does. If everything appears to match, then it will turn both the rows green. And that's just kind of what I decided on. Also, they always update here on the form responses tab, not in the round results tab over here where the players can see the results, because all of these columns are automatically calculated, and I did want to point out errors here in a place where you can't actually fix them. So if you try to fix them here, they'll just get overwritten. You need to fix them here either by changing them specifically or asking the players to put in some new info. 1 second. Sorry, recording this live. I need to respond to something. Okay. All right. So round 1 results. As you can see, as I said before, these are now bar chart results. So 1 point for a loss, 10 points for a win. You get however many points in scenario you get. You get your attrition adjustment, and that game would have been a 6 to 17 under bar trap. But now let's pop over and see what would happen. Round 1, table 2. I'll say Boehner is playing Bart, which normally they wouldn't in round 1 because they're in the same club. Scenario played. Control. And let's say, let's say Boehner got like 5. And let's say Bart got 2. And Boehner killed 2,000 points. And Bart killed, we'll say 1,250. Okay. So now that's going to start working, right? That's going to start chewing away. The checker's going to run when it finishes, like copying the stuff to the other thing. It's going to turn the row yellow because we haven't gotten a result from Bart yet. So let's go back here. Bart's at table 2. He's playing Boehner. It was a good game. We played Control. And let's say Bart just puts in totally different numbers. For whatever reason. Doesn't matter, right? So I pop back up here. So what's going to happen here? Can you guess? Let's see. I hope it works correctly. It should. Okay, so what's happened here is now we have rows that are highlighted in yellow because there's a problem on them. And you can tell that it's a problem. We're not just waiting because some specific cells have turned red. And those cells are red because those specific cells do not match what we would expect. So as we're looking here, we can see that Boehner said it was a 5 to 2 for him. Bart said it was a 5 to 3 for him. They can't both have gotten 5 points in a 7-point scenario. So something must be wrong. So in this case, let's say that Alan has the results correct. So we will update Bart's victory points to 2 and his opponent's victory points to 5. So they match each other. And we'll say that Alan also had the correct route points. Okay, so Now the results are correct, but the rows are still colored the way they were, indicating that there's a problem. That's because the checker only runs automatically when you submit something from the form. Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't automatically. Um, it does not automatically run every time you edit something, and that was something that I did intentionally. Sorry. Uh, I didn't want you to like. If I did it like every time the tab got edited, then every time you changed every cell, it would try to run. And if you're trying to fix multiple things like I just did here, it would get really confused. Like it would try to run like 4 different times. And I didn't want that to happen. That was going to cause like a performance issue. And they were going to trip all over each other and there'd be race conditions where it would like keep trying to change the colors every time. And whichever one finished running last and updated the colors last would be the one that stuck. Um, so if for whatever reason, like they ran or finished slightly out of order because on the back end they got dispatched to different machines, uh, even though they're correct, the rows might end up looking wrong. Um, so what I added was up here a way to just run the response checker against all of the results, and it's up here under TO tools, and it's the third thing listed, and it's called check responses. So after you've made whatever updates or fixes you need to, or had players submit correct data and then deleted the incorrect data, you can just go up here and hit check responses, um, and it will run and should fix all of them. And as you see, it does right there. So obviously the thing that we're most concerned about here is that people put in the correct victory points and points routed because those are what matter for your actual scores. As we can see, the scores have updated correctly here now. That's a 19.5 for Boehner. There's a couple of things that might go wrong. We will also flag if somebody puts the wrong table or if they put a different scenario their opponents said that they played. Also, if a player puts in two results for the same round, we will definitely flag that. Um, so let's see how that looks. Your table 2, you are Bart. It's Alan. Also, if you put in a different opponent than the opponent that you have listed, that'll also get flagged. Possibly flagged as like both of you are waiting for opponents to submit results or something like that, but like they will at least get highlighted in some way. And just put in whatever. You both tabled each other. Mutual tabling. Congratulations. That'll be hella confusing. All right. So let's see what happens there. So we have 2 rows for Bart. Bart says he played Boehner twice. Oh my God! Now everything's just horribly wrong, right? So perfect. The 2 rows for Bart are completely red. Good. That's what I hoped would happen. Because one player cannot submit 2 results for one round. If they do, then obviously something is wrong, and it needs to be resolved as quickly as possible. So I turned the entire row red as like okay, full stop. We've got 2 game results for one player, not just a data mismatch. So when that happens, obviously that'll bring your attention to it, and you can resolve that however you need to, and fix any other things. We also get some, the row with Alan also get some colors flashed there because if you're about to get rid of the first row with Bart that matches and go with the second row, those values don't match, and you'll need to fix those as well. So that's kind of the 2 things that might happen. Right, you might, or excuse me, the 3 things that you might see. You might see a yellow row, which just means we're waiting on our opponent to submit their results. And those you expect to see, and you expect them to just sort of go away as the results come in. If you start getting towards the end of the round and you've got most of the results and you still got a couple of yellow rows, that's when you get on the mic and start calling out like whoever, right, whoever, whichever opponent you're missing. You might see a yellow row with individual red cells, which means those cells need correcting, or you might see fully red rows, which means you've gotten a response from a player twice, which you definitely don't want. So you want to get rid of that. So this one, we're going to come out here and we're going to delete this. Pro tip, always come all the way over here and remove the whole row. Don't just delete the data. Okay, so now that's going to run and it's going to update the round results and sports scores and everything as appropriate. But again, like the row colors don't change automatically when you make changes. You have to go up here and manually run check responses, and then it'll turn them all green for you, just like that. Okay, so those are basically the features that I wanted to show off. Everything else works like you would expect. You know, the results trickle up, they get queried out to the public page for the players to see, and you know the total results here at the end get updated, and the awards get kind of automatically updated. I did fix the counter charger so that it pulls whoever the actual middle row is, and the row is not just hard coded, assuming a set number of players. So that should calculate automatically now if you want to give out a counter charger award. Otherwise, if you got any other questions, let me know. I will be rolling this out as V2 and posting the files in the next day or so, and I'll post a link to this video as well. So it'll all appear to happen at the same time because I'll post the video at the same time, post the shit. And I think that's everything I meant to go over. So hopefully you guys find this useful. If you start playing with it and you find any bugs, of course, let me know. I'm happy to fix them. Or if you got any questions and I got time to answer them, I'm happy to answer them for you. Hopefully now that everybody's like in a Facebook group, if somebody has a question and somebody else knows the answer, they can answer it and I don't have to answer anything. But I'll keep my fingers crossed and see how that goes. You never know. People might be like, well, I think I know the answer, but I'm going to let Mike answer anyway because I'm not super sure. So anyway, I think that's it. I think that's the 4 things I wanted to show off, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully this is easy. These are mostly like quality of life improvements for the TO. I also cleaned up some of the tabs where like there would be columns that show all zeros until the data starts getting populated, or throw a weird error when there's no data to query. Now everything ought to be blank or have meaningful results in it, just to cut down on confusion, to make everything look prettier, and then of course all the new functionality. So I think that's all I got. So I'm going to get this stuff packaged up to post for you guys, and good luck on your upcoming events, and hopefully I'll see you at one soon. Take care.